Ladies and gentlemen, our final game here at Pitch 1, and it's a classic, a Texas classic. Texas A&M versus UT. The Longhorns and the Aggies duking it out. Both of these teams undefeated.
It's always one of the best matchups of the tournament to see two of the best programs in the history of Quidditch go up against each other.
Two of the hardest hitting groups of guys too. I'm sure at some point when AQ finishes playing and Silver Phoenix is done playing as well, they'll be heading over here to cheer them on, and you'll hear, it'll sound just like you're at James Royal Stadium or at the stadium of the 12th man, Kyle Field.
What is that? Kyle Field.
Kyle Field.
Or even like the Cotton Bowl.
Or the Cotton Bowl, yeah. It'll be one of those kind of atmospheres. They use the same exact chants, and they're all very annoying. I'm kidding. I actually like the ton of spirit that Texas A&M. They get really obnoxious when they're trying to duke it out with each other, and I like it a lot.
Yep. UT is the expected favorite, but A&M got the victory at regionals, so this should be a tight matchup.
And there may have been a false start there for a second, but no, Texas A&M will come out with quaffle control up front. And Nick Roy beat her up top, number 0 for Texas A&M going to work. Texas fight chance already broken out.
Sam Hamowitz made a cut right through the middle. They missed the beat. He got the pass over. Oh, wow. This is a great start for A&M.
Texas A&M with a great read on that one, and they're going to sub out that basically that entire starting lineup. They're going to get – yep, here he goes. Here's Nick. The man himself.
Yeah, their best chaser for sure, and one of the best chasers in the nation.
Is Joey still out there? No, just Nick. They swapped out Joey really early on. Nice catch up front.
Beautiful catch.
A screen as well. Oh, contact from Nick Roy. You got to watch out for him. The guy hits the gym, and he uses that ability well.
Wow.
Another one as well.
Really beautiful ball movement so far from both teams.
Great awareness around the pitch there, and Hamowitz not happy with that. They're going to try and say it was no good. Maybe the pass, the secondary pass, they're going to say she was beat before. Other than that, it seemed pretty clean.
Yeah, from our angle, we really wouldn't have been able to see if it was late. But and
Hamowitz is livid about something.
The rest definitely didn't get anybody's attention when it occurred. So this looks like a reactionary thing due to a complaint from a player. And
they just called the goal no good. Texas A&M still up 10-0. Texas A&M, Texas, two of the best teams in the Southwest, subsequently making them two of the best teams in the nation. Texas ranked 10th in the USQ standings. Nice long beat up front, and now a shot through the mid-hoop. It looked like that dropped through, but it did not. Texas is going to recover. Are they going to turn on the afterburners and get on the attack is the question.
Yeah, that probably should have been a pass instead of a shot. They had a female chaser wide open behind.
And Nick has it on the right-hand side over here. He's waiting for a beat. Nick Roy is waiting for somebody to just try and run into the keeper zone. Nick Roy, no, there's going to be a beat up front.
Sam Hamowitz just zoning that middle. He's a Team USA chaser, one of the best point defenders in the country.
And you can see why. He was a big part of why the Austin Outlaws won so many games last season, and then, as a matter of fact, the MLQ championship.
Marino.
Yeah.
Wow, what a block! That's a big one right at this moment.
Forced Nick Marino up into the air and then hit him and hit his arm that he was trying to shoot with to force that bad pass or bad shot that turned into a pass of some sort.
Eddie Molina, he's one of the funnest beaters to watch because he's just so all over the place. Makes catches, makes deflections. He just pressed up.
And another rough pass over there. Yeah.
Yeah, he got the better, but they were not able to capitalize on it.
That was a long pass, and the wind's not even affecting anymore. That was just poor accuracy, which is surprising with the way that Texas A&M runs like a smooth machine.
They do. They're prone to making longer passes than the average top-tier team especially the Southwest. So when it's on, it's on. But windy days obviously aren't the best for long passing. Wow, that was a high one, too.
That's the second one, and it's both teams. It's not just one here. That's very strange. And you have to imagine, near the hard boundary, Texas A&M looking for a pick. They almost came up with it, and they will actually quell that attack. Nick Roy trying to get a fast break going for Texas. Hold on, the head ref getting back into the play over here. And there's a throw and a shot, and they're going to say it went through, and it bounced back off of an opposing chaser. And
looks like
Nick Roy going to dodge a beat there.
Looks like their chasers are zoning a little bit in the center.
Yeah, they're playing a little help man defense there. They're trying to cut off the passing lanes, and they'll let anything go above that certain line. But after it gets that past that 1 point, they have to stop him. Nick Roy misses a throw up front. Dangerous. It might be Texas being ready to make them pay. They did.
If you play a zone, your beaters need to be magnificent in order to make plays, because your chasers are not going to be at every spot they need to be at to make stops on those drives.
And Nick Roy's going to sub out. See what happens. See how Texas reacts on this one. They have bludgeon control up front, and Phil, we've seen this happen at Bruins on the Brazos and a couple of other tournaments where they faced off against community teams. Texas with bludgeon control is near unstoppable.
Oh, yeah.
Back on the side of the hoops there, and it looks like that was blocked by the bludger.
Wow.
And Texas is on the run.
Great. Full speed. Is he going to fit? Oh,
yes,
wow.
He is. Floating almost in that last couple of strides there. And a quick sub as well.
With defenses this good, fast breaks are so paramount. They're just those easy buckets. You don't think about them throughout. You don't realize how a game can swing one way or the other in those fast breaks. They happen so quickly, and they're worth just as much as these slow possession goals.
When you let high-skilled players get set up in their offense and in their defense, usually you're not going to succeed. Offense can be knocked off kilter so easily. And there's a hustle for the quaffle, and that might have been a slide.
It looked like the Texas keeper was going to get there first, but it looks like Texas is still going to get the ball back.
Coming down the left-hand side. See if he's going to draw any help over here. Forcing the defenders to stay wide. I think Texas is trying to test just how far those Texas A&M chasers are willing to come out there. And there's an imaginary line right here, and it's basically the reset line.
They're giving them a ton of space to walk forward. They're really relying on their beaters to make good plays. Another miss.
Nick gets a deflection, and now he's going to run through.
Yeah, if they miss that, it's all over. They may have to adjust strategies at some point and put a point chaser up top a little bit closer.
And somebody's got this game plan cooked up to try and corral whoever the ball carrier is into the keeper zone to try and force them to get eaten up by the beaters. But if you don't have bludgeon control, you get one shot at making that work, and it's not working for Texas A&M right now.
Definitely.
Up top, a nice beat over there. Texas A&M comes up with that one. See if they can make something happen here on offense. Hamowitz across the pitch.
Patient pass across.
Shifting his feet. Almost a picture-perfect pass, but Nick comes up with it. And now it's time for a run. Texas has bludgeon control. They're trying to punch a hole through the Texas A&M defense. Looks like that's not Joey over there. Sorry. Up front, running the perimeter. Beaters almost being occupied. Seems like it. As the chasers on the wing chaser positions.
Very patient right now. They're waiting on their attack. I'm interested to see how aggressive Texas beaters are going to be.
And what direction it comes from. Is it going to start from behind? Or is it going to be an up-front exchange? A nice shot.
Those are the other easy goals that can come about if you're ready to pounce on a ball. Loose balls, easy scores.
50-50 passes.
Yep. Huge buckets.
Great coach, and Greg Popovich talks about it all the time. And as soon as the relay happens for the Texas A&M beaters, they get that pass. Now they're forcing the pressure. Texas A&M has to get some kind of response going. They've got two chasers down. One's back
handled.
in. Yeah.
Very well handled on that press. They easily could have thrown that away and been another easy goal.
And you have to imagine Texas could have waited and baited Texas A&M a little bit further, closer to that half pitch line, even let them cross it there and then go with that pressure. But
they could, but it's easy to say after the fact because beaters know they need to act quickly when they get the opportunities, and it's very difficult to get
There's
that
a
balance.
tackle on Texas up top, and there's a hand for advantage going. Is it going to be that side-to-side contact we saw on the spectator side? Simona Rins is going to go over and have a conversation with the official. Somebody's going to the box, it seems like. Texas A&M is going to get their water guys out there, going to get a break. Somebody's going to the box here. Can't see the number on him. As he kisses the biceps on the way to the box.
Number 9.
Number 9 for Texas.
That is Aiden Parsi. I've seen at several tournaments, especially in fantasy tournaments, he dominates the game because he's very strong if he gets the ball in any space. He just drives through tackles.
And another tackle by
Beautiful.
Texas with a chaser down, coming up with a clean one.
Face beat A&M player down. Needs a sub.
And sometimes those face beats, especially at angles, if you don't expect it and it hits you right in the face, like it always does. It's a face beat.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can twist the neck. Sometimes it twists the neck in an awkward position.
Yep.
Sometimes it just the reaction that your
stunned
nose has. Yeah.
too. It's like, and then sometimes it can be as bad as concussion if it hits you just the right way. So.
I remember when we went to Throw Me Something a couple years ago, and we had LSU playing a game, and a young lady, Lilo, who's part of that team. Didn't see her here today, which is a little disappointing.
Score.
Right. And Lilo took a shot from took a face beat and twisted her neck, and she actually had to go to the hospital for a little while because she was in recovery. So the force that a bludger can have behind a trained athlete, being thrown with great precision, dangerous.
Our bodies were not naturally meant to be getting hit in the head by dodgeball.
That's for sure.
Wow.
Behind the hoops, and Nick catches, takes 2 steps, turns around with great precision, and fires that one through the mid-hoop.
Texas is really bringing the energy right now.
Texas A&M is trying to calm down here. They've been making sure, and you can tell they've been checking up on that relay between their 2 beaters. When somebody tracks it down, they're trying to make sure there's nothing crazy. And that one turned the hoop sideways, but it went through. Texas A&M matching an amazing shot with an amazing shot of their own.
You can see the crowd is very much pro UT here.
Yeah.
They're doing the chants. I didn't hear too much on the A&M side, so that makes sense. We're basically in Austin.
We are basically in Austin. We're about 10 minutes outside of Austin at Round Rock, Texas, the Round Rock Athletic Complex for the final game.
That'll be an interesting thing going into the next.
And blocked at the hoops. Great hustle, great awareness. Not only was the beater there, but the keeper rotated enough time to force that stop.
It'll be interesting, though, to see if there's going to be some kind of home field advantage for the Texas teams as we get into day 2.
Day 2 is going to be wild, especially as news starts to spread. Texas getting further and further in the tournament.
Yep.
And it looks like
stop play, but people kept walking.
And they're continuing to walk. And there's going to be a penalty called. Nobody's going to the box, it seems like. This is interesting. Off broom.
60-40. UT is up right now.
60-40. Texas A&M still hanging around. This one's going to be, as you expect, Phil, a snitch range type game.
You would think so. As long as one team doesn't turn the ball over multiple times in a row and allow momentum to build, that's what it's looking like.
And when you talk about what these 2 teams have been up to, they've got a chaser down here in a second. She's going to return, but the evolution that Texas takes when they turn into snitch on pitch mode, because it allows their chasers to take over this game, and guys like Nick become even more dangerous.
Yes, that's true. And the team with the better chasers typically thrives in the scoring game during snitch on pitch, but the team with the better beaters gives their seeker more time. So it's a very interesting dichotomy there.
And the question is, who's going to match up the best here? And it's all about moving those chess pieces in the right way, like Nick Roy being back in the game right here. A quick sub for them. Texas A&M with a small rotation, just like Texas actually this entire season. Both of those teams with pretty small rotations in comparison to the regional champion, Texas State, a team that if they want to win, if they want to be champions, at some point you got to beat the best.
Yep. UT has a history of playing a short rotation the further they get in the tournament, going back to Augie Monroe.
Only the guys you trust, right?
And yeah, it's not that they don't trust. It's a tough decision to make. You want to play the young guys, you want to get them experience, but it's about winning those championships at the end of the day.
As Nick is going to get this pass over here. A nice beater possession and a throw behind the hoop. Still nicely caught.
Off and intercepted, though.
Just a hair off, and it's the difference between scoring a goal and being off here. A nice run on the backside of those hoops, forcing Texas A&M to defend the entire pitch almost instantaneously. That's going to work on offense, and guess what? An open opportunity, clear.
Like
that was
a little high.
Yeah, it was. It looked like somebody's head hit the jaw of that Texas A&M player. And that's going to be Nick sent to the box. That's going to be big.
A lot of times it starts in a legal area and it ends up sliding up to the illegal area in the neck and chin spot. That's probably what happened here.
And Nick very vocal about what he thinks about that call. and like you said, Nick lowered his body. Like, he tried to go in low on that opponent, and he actually popped the ball free, which is more of a testament to him getting him in the chest. But that's a little disappointing that he gets called for that. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's an accident, it's still technically in the rule. You can't do it, so they got to make a call there. It's definitely for the health of the player.
They're trying to argue that the keeper for – hold on a second. They're trying to argue the new keeper into the game is off broom. I don't even know how that would be possible.
Because the penalty.
And that looked like it was going to be net contact for a second, and a nice defense from Texas A&M. And they start flexing, and now they're out of transition. Coming down the left-hand side, waiting for a beat on the left side. And she's off broom, but still has possession of the bludger. Texas A&M takes that over, and bludger control.
Yep, she almost made a leg catch, it looked like, and then it just slipped out at the last second.
Texas and Texas A&M both 3-0. They're guaranteed to not have to play tomorrow in the first round of games for the play-ins.
Yep, that's a nice luxury.
But, you know, it's always nice to go home and be able to say that you bragged and you beat the rival school.
That's true, that's
the big
true.
programs don't play anymore.
Nah,
the bigger programs.
Yeah. They had it looked to be a goal and a nice hit right at the hoops. Forced the shot low, and they weren't able to get it back.
And Nick looks like he's about to sub back into this one, even though, surprisingly enough, don't you think it's weird that Texas didn't slow down at all? They actually sped up, even though they were down at Chaser trying to seize an opportunity. Now Texas is on a run. They got Nick Roy on the side here. He's running over to catch and cover. His entire bench is yelling to make sure that he focuses.
That was very, very well done getting back on defense so they couldn't fast break that from A&M.
And luckily for Nick, good timing on his part to be able to pick that bludger up. And then the bench for Texas A&M doing a good job of alerting him that the quaffle was just to his left so he can turn and throw, and then using the threat of the bludger, not actually throwing it to stop the entire fast break. Off the left-hand side.
Oh, looked like some net contact, but they say no harm, no foul. Oh, back to hoops defense for that and a score.
Roy's going to come out. A&M falling out of snitch range here just if they give up another bucket here. 70-40 UT over Texas A&M. Final game here on pitch 1. The action is starting to heat up, no doubt about that. Pass back up top.
It's very difficult to make it past Nick Marino on that.
And
he's one of the top point defenders, and he was able to stop the first attack.
Oh, wow,
nice
a tackle
move.
of a player without a ball. That's got to be a call. And another flying tackle from the beater for Texas A&M, and they're not going to make that call. That was a bang bang play according to the official. That's interesting.
Yeah.
He just ran in and pinballed around.
Yeah,
hit two beaters with the ball.
Sometimes crazy enough stuff happens that the refs are like, I don't know what happened, and they just have to play on because you can't stop if you don't even know what to call.
Right, exactly. Texas A&M, once again, looks like they've changed up a little bit.
Yeah,
they're running side-to-side beater positioning.
And they're manning up a little bit more up
and
top.
now they've triggered the pressure off that quarter section to beat on the quaffle player, and then the control of the quaffle that was dropped loose and the bludger that was dropped loose. Now Texas A&M got the ball up top, trying to cross over a foot fake to the right, drives in, shoots it on the right hoop. They're going to call that good. It's a 20-point lead for Texas.
It's a big one. Turnover right at the top. Those are killer.
And you saw what happened there, ladies and gentlemen, at home watching this one. As soon as that bad throw was made, the pressure came in, and they didn't force him just backwards. They forced him back and into a corner. They cut off the two passing lanes, and the beater came up and made that beat because there was no option to be had but to drop the ball.
Yep.
Beat up top, another one on the run. Texas A&M is going to scoop this one up. Are they going to make the run, though? The bludger's over here off pitch on the left-hand side, running back into the picture. Texas A&M's got to get a stop, or there are going to be some problems coming up here.
That's a very late tackle over there after being released. It looks like they stopped play for that.
That is interesting because
the keeper for UT number 6.
For those of you wondering at home, when you cannot tackle a player who does not have possession of a ball, whether it be a bludger or a quaffle, whatever position you are, keeper or chaser. And up top, they had their keeper attacking the keeper for Texas A&M. He had him wrapped up and took him all the way down to the ground after the quaffle was already deemed to be gone. As a matter of fact, you can tell the quaffles were in the keeper zone about 10 or 15 yards away.
I'm interested to see if they're going to just call it a back to hoops because he didn't hear it.
And they stopped Texas A&M from being able to get an easy
That's
bucket
true.
because Texas was caught off guard there for a second.
It was very late.
They're going to send them back to
surprising
hoops.
that they're just going to send them back to hoops, but that's a judgment call there. Let's see if A&M can capitalize right here, though.
And sometimes the official will allow that back to hoops basically because they didn't call ball out. And they didn't call it loud enough for the player to be able to hear. Texas A&M with a shot fake and a finish. It's a 10-point lead for Texas. Texas A&M has flipped this game as Texas, they started off their offense and back-to-back turnovers up top. 70-60 UT leading over Texas A&M. Back-to-back turnovers up top, Phil.
Yep, that
cut this lead down.
Can easily be the story of the game when we look in a very tight matchup like this.
All three bludgers are down. Two of them are down. Texas A&M is the only person with an active beater route. Now they're going to run up. They've got one chaser beating the throat coming this way.
We just got hit by bludgers in the booth.
He took him down, and oh man, is this going to be? It's a straight yellow. Luckily, there that could have been. That's a makeup call for him pinballing around inside the keeper zone down here. That could have been a straight red. Not only was that a back tackle, but after the ball was loose, he continued to spin him down to the ground.
Wow. They're still arguing it, though.
It's a yellow card on a beater up top. One of the two starting male beaters that Texas A&M uses. And this is going to be a key portion right here because Texas is almost guaranteed to score. A shot behind the hoops, a nice pass. And was it finished? No good. Texas A&M with another key stop, and now Hemowitz on a run. Hard to catch when he's out in space. And a throw up front. It's still a chance to be made here, and bumped off the ball.
Nick Marino has possession.
Nick Marino not happy about that call the official made, and looks like he's wanting to make some Aggies pay for it.
Seekers are getting ready. Snitch is now getting ready for Seekers to approach. Not quite released.
Not just yet. They got counting down from a minute from the second that he was released. See what happens for Texas A&M. Do they elect to hold on to it as the Snitch is getting warmed up in a very unique way? Doing the worm for the crowd.
Wow. Oh, a dropped pass to number 24. It might have been an easy goal there.
Now on the attack, Sam Hemowitz up top looking for a shot. He's got one behind the hoops. He's got a track back, and now one of the hoops is down for UT. So a bad opportunity coming up for Texas A&M. Only two of the three hoops available to them. And the countdown for the Seekers has begun.
Looks like Eddie Molina's. They're going around so that he can beat him.
Run for some safety, give his Seeker a clear path. And, oh, man, one of the bludgers got thrown way off pitch.
If UT can hold on to these two bludgers, then A&M's going to have to go very far to go get it, although a ref is going off pitch to get that bludger.
Yeah, that was thrown almost into the spectator area. Oh, UT getting pretty close on that one.
Shot over here, turnover.
And this is a chance for Texas A&M to close this gap down and make this a snitch range game. Although they do not have bludger control, they have to engage. There has to be one miss.
Nice
and
deflection.
Nice deflection up front and a diving snag coming up. Wow. Texas A&M, you see the bludgers just flying here as possession of those three balls is going to be paramount to anybody winning this game. Nothing's going to come easy. And a dab from the snitch. Once again, I don't know what the call is.
Put their hand up. I did not see that play. I was looking to the other side of the field. What did you see, Ashton?
There was a tackle. Texas beater who's down right now. Can't see his number, so we can't give you his name right here. But he's down. A contact on a tackle from beater to beater. Took him down to the ground. And I think they can say that he lifted and threw him down, but other than that, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he just did. It was just really hard, and it looked violent, which people don't like in Quidditch.
Which isn't automatically a penalty. If a ref sometimes will see somebody get hurt or kind of go down, it looks like a violent manner, and they'll think that must have been a penalty, and they'll put their hand up. So they're really going to have to talk about exactly what happened here and see if it really was a penalty.
And that beater into the game, Tate K.
Tate K.
Beaters up top for Texas. Really going to work. In particular, seen him out there all day. Hasn't really had a sub for the vast majority of it.
Eddie.
Yeah, we're looking, trying to make sure. And Tate's going to stay out there. Pretty tough of him out there. And Eddie Molina, like you mentioned.
Yeah, he's one of the best. He's, he can do all the dynamic parts of beating very, very well. It doesn't mean, it's hard to define what the best beater is because there's all different aspects such as physicality,
different
smarts,
styles, different situations.
But he is one of my favorite beaters to watch.
And Eddie Molina guarding the Snitch here to give some one time with his Seeker, who, by the way, has shown that he has the length up top. A nice long-range beat.
That was a beat.
That was definitely a beat.
And hit him as a deflection.
Texas A&M gets one reach at that. Texas has had way more alone time with the Snitch here. And like we said, the Seeker that we're looking at got pulled off Broom there.
Wow, what a snag from number
That's
0.
Nick Roy coming in. It is
He
Nick.
caught it with one hand off a deflection, stuck into his fingers.
And the Snitch just got poked in the eye for a second. He's going to take a knee. Play is going to stop in case he has to be subbed out of this game.
You're going to want to watch this play again, Ashton, whenever you get home. It deflected, beat off, and then stuck into a Derek Malone-style snag out of the air on a close beat.
David Huber, the UT Seeker out there. What's been impressive about him, he has the length, his arm length off the jump is long enough to just reach around and grab, even with the Snitch's arms fully extended out to try and block him. So it is literally, it has to be an extension of the arm and a movement of the hip. So Huber right here, almost grabbing it. That's about the third or fourth time he's done it.
Eddie Molina, they've got more time alone with the Snitch. UT's getting plenty.
Eddie Molina ready to go. Nice spin move from Huber up front. No goals scored in this one so far. Texas A&M's behind the hoops on the far side, trying to get a look. Nice fake out on the shot. Looking backwards, and Hamowitz scores one, throws it all the way back to his opposing keeper zone. And that means that Texas is going to have some time to work on this one, and Texas has the Snitch grab.
I didn't see anything illegal at first glance. It looked clean, but they're going to obviously talk about it.
It's 70-60 UT winning. If this is clean, UT defeats A&M, and they will be 4-0 going into tomorrow's bracket.
This game was exactly what we wanted to see, the type of game. Physical, back and forth, speed, athleticism.
Some of the best college teams, the top-tier college teams in the country, duking it out right here. This game has the quality of being a final.
Yes.
As David Huber looks like he's got to catch. Once again, these conversations can take forever. Somebody just got a whistle blown that they just won, and it looks like the U is playing in their final game.
It is like final score.
Texas A&M defeated by
UT.
Texas. Texas A&M defeated by Texas. Yeah, defeated by UT. Final score should be 110 to 70 here. As you can hear the Texas fight chant break out, Texas A&M and Texas will be definitely performing pretty well.
Both of these teams have a chance. Still, obviously UT, but A&M's got a chance to get the championship at the same time. It's whoever gets hot tomorrow comes away with those 50-50 plays and snitch pulls. And this time, UT dominated the snitch play, and A&M didn't get many options to even go for it. They had maybe 2 runs at it. UT had so much time.
Yeah, and it was an interesting result nonetheless, a glimpse of what the elite level play that we're going to be seeing tomorrow in day 2 out here.
Yes.
And we got a bunch of play-in games. For those of you who are wondering, none of those have been decided yet. They'll be posting that in the U.S. Quidditch Cup 11 event on Facebook. If you follow that, it'll be on U.S. Quidditch Cup, USQuidditchCup.com, where they post all of the scores and all of the games that are going to be coming up. If you're wondering what's going down tomorrow, for the community side of the bracket, the pool play has one more game. Once that pool play is over, Texas A&M having a conversation over there. Once that pool play is over, they will enter a single elimination tournament, and it comes down to who can win the most games consecutively out there. And it'll be the best teams duking it out. I know one big game that's happening tomorrow, the Nomads have to take on the Lost Boys.
And this is the Northwest Nomads.
The Northwest Nomads, the ones that have made quite a name for themselves in their first season ever.
I've watched 2 of their games today. They are beastly athletes. Like, they can score, but for whatever reason, they had 2 early games today that they could not close out, and they were beat by teams that I think they looked much better when I was watching them. They seemed like they were going to be able to handle those teams, but they just weren't able to. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to get their heads together for tomorrow.
And with all this footage on YouTube, guess what?
Sir.
A lot of footage on how to expose a lot of these teams going on. A lot of these close games showing the situations that a lot of teams are weaker in. You can expect people are going to be watching film
see if
tonight.
they value their sleep, or if they want to, or the ones that want to go, who's going to take it seriously. I would want to watch at least a little bit of that film on the opponent. If you know who the opponent is, if it doesn't come in too late.
Right. And we're talking about what's going to happen on day 2 for Swiss-style tournament. The Swiss action is over. All the teams have been decided. All those top-tier teams. We saw UT claim the undefeated record. Texas A&M will be just behind them. Texas State has claimed an undefeated record. We saw Missouri look pretty good out there as well.
UTSA got that upset.
UTSA got that upset, so it is.
And Kansas looks really good too, although they had a loss to Texas State toward the end.
Which, by the way, all those games, if we could just see rematches of those in bracket play when there's a lot more on the line, like elimination status, you'll see some crazy stuff for sure. But basically what's going to happen tomorrow, all the teams that went 2-2 will play play-in games. Those will be assigned. They will duke it out. Those are single elimination. If you win your play-in game, you advance on to the single elimination tournament, just like the 3-1 and 4-0 teams here today. All those teams who are 3-1 and 4-0 are automatically in that tournament, so they get a full round of rest. Any team that got less than 2 wins here today will not be participating tomorrow. So already at the end of today, 44 teams will be playing tomorrow. 19 teams get eliminated, and the community section, four pools of 6 teams, 24 total. If you're not in the top 3 of your pool, you're not advancing on.
Yeah, so
pretty
the
simple.
Quality is going to go up even more than what we saw today, and it's single elimination, as you said, once we get past the play-in. So it's going to be high pressure. The fans are going to get much louder tomorrow, so it's going to be real fun.
No doubt about it. Hopefully it's a lot warmer. We'll be back here on U.S. Quidditch Cup 11. Thanks to everybody who was a part of the broadcast. Thanks to all the fans for listening. One more time, we finish on an epic note. UT defeats Texas A&M.